everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Today is a get ready with me, just doing my eyes though basically, but it's kind of special. Well, it isn't kind of special, it is special because it is a collab. Now I don't do many collabs, and the reason for that is because I always feel guilty if I can't meet my obligation as far as the timeline. I never know when I can film and sit down and film and get done what I have to get done, and I have missed some timelines and collabs before, and I don't like doing that. I don't like disappointing people, and I don't feel comfortable with that pressure of not disappointing people, so I really don't do many collabs. But I am doing a collab with a very dear friend of mine. Her name is Debbie Knoblauch. I'm of course going to link her video down below, and you should check out her channel. She is an amazing woman. She is so sweet, so kind, so adorable. I just love to watch her. She does beautiful, talented makeup eye looks, beautiful colors, and I am blessed to call her a friend here on YouTube. And of course we met because of YouTube, so that makes it equally as wonderful. She has a series that she does, which is an old love, new shade, or the unused shades. Now, we decided on the Subculture palette. Now, I had planned on actually trying this. I have had this palette for a long time and have never tried it. Can you believe it? Neither can I. So mine is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be that I haven't tried any of the shades. I'm hoping this can become a love because there was so much controversy surrounding this palette, and I had not jumped on the bandwagon when it first came out and tested it for myself. So now I'm going to do the testing, and maybe this will become a favorite palette of mine. Now mine is a little bit dirty, even though I've never used it, because unfortunately one of my shades is shattered, and I'm going to try to hold the palette up here without losing the shade that is destroyed. So here's the palette. You can see some of the color of the darkest shade. Of course it would be the darkest shade, right? It kind of got into the other colors, but I'm still going to make it work. I have as you can see, I have plans on properly repressing it, but since I've never used the palette, I never really had that opportunity to do so. The controversy surrounding this palette was almost on the absurd side. But you know, we in the beauty community tend to be overzealous about things. I'm going to say that in a way that sounds really pleasant. We're overzealous sometimes. I try not to be, but maybe I fall into that category too occasionally. Anywho, I'm actually going to try to use the shades that I probably wouldn't ordinarily go for. You know that I enjoy the berries and things like that, but this has a lot of grunge to it, and I'm going to go for the greens and golds in here because I know that those are shades that I wouldn't automatically jump for as soon as I saw this palette. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to swatch the shades on my arm that I plan on using. I've never even swatched this before. Shades do feel extremely soft. See, that's definitely a color story that is out of my comfort zone. Now I got some of that black into that mustard yellow, but I'll probably go for that too, as maybe my transition color. Now, supposedly they had reformulated the palette after all of the drama. I have no idea which of the palettes that I got, the old one, the new one, but it was basically over powdery and people had trouble blending it. All of the things that can basically make a palette a tuchus, pain in the tuchus to work with. I'm just laughing, it doesn't actually make it a tuchus. Oh boy, Leanne. Now it does, oh goodness gracious, I'm getting all of that dark shade in here. It has this gorgeous like transforming duochrome shade, which I might want to dip my paws into also. That's actually not really a black shade. It says it is called Rowdy. It's like a chocolate but with like some purple in it. I don't know, it's a really cool shade. I'm so upset that it's broken. Heck, I'm sure they have it at CVS. CVS? Jeez, I'm sure they have it at TJ Maxx at this point. I'm going to go into the shade Edge. This is going to prove rather difficult. Edge. Oh, before I do that, I do want to put some primer on my eyes, because just in case, you know, I'm using one of my favorite primers, eye primers, which is the ABH. This one, I love its opacity and the fact that it does not dry out my eyes. So how are you guys? I've missed you. It's a long story. I've just been a little MIA. Okay, now I can tell you this, that I dipped my brush in, and yeah, I mean, their powder is all heck. I'm not going to dig my brush into it because it's not necessary to do so. Now this is a very interesting color. It's definitely mustardy. Mustardy. Add it to the dictionary, my friends. It seems to be blending decently. Now it's definitely not a favorite color of mine, only because it's just not a shade that I tend to go for. But we are stepping out of the box. I mean, look at it this way. It's just makeup. I'm thinking that this was one of the shades that everybody had that blendability problem. If any of you own this palette, I look forward to your insight and thoughts and your experiences with it. What's interesting for me is this would never have been a palette. Of course, I can say that actually about most of the palettes I now own. I was always very safe when it came to my makeup. I loved my makeup, but I was never very adventurous. I don't know what happened. I think when I turned 45, something switched. And I can say that since I've had my YouTube channel, I've become 1000% more adventurous and trying new things. And that's kind of another reason I'm so grateful for my YouTube channel, is that it's made me become a person who's not afraid to try things. I'm going to go into Mercury here. Ooh, that's much darker than I anticipated. So we're going to change this up and not do what my original intention was. We're going to do this on the outer little V here. There was no doubt in my mind that these are pressed pigments. Pressed pigments can be notoriously difficult to work with. There is no arguing that. I had to switch memory cards, of course. So I don't know if the quality of this memory card is going to be the same as the other. I have many different levels of them. So hopefully this is going to work. I do believe that I was talking about how pressed pigments are going to perform differently. Or no, I shouldn't say perform differently, but you have to work them differently. Now, is that for everybody? No. Some people don't want to have to fuss with eyeshadows, but this is what I have come to expect from a pressed pigment. What a pressed pigment is going to get. How many times can I say pressed pigment? It is going to give you a lot more color intensity, in my opinion anyway. I mean, it's blending okay. Have I had shadows that have blended better than this? Yes, but the horrific, oh my goodness, these don't blend controversy I'm not currently experiencing. I'm going into this green mossy colored named Untamed. Yep, I mean, they are powdery as all heck. There is absolutely no denying that. So Debbie, I'm going to call her the queen of the lives. Okay, that just sounded really, really funny, and it actually wasn't my intention for it to be funny. But she is very comfortable doing lives. She does a lot of them. The thing is, she does a lot of them late at night, which is why I don't always catch them live. I have been able to catch a few. I've done a couple of lives, but I haven't found my comfort zone with them yet. And that is because I am one, if you notice, there are a lot of jump cuts in my videos because sometimes I lose the ability to just speak. Like, I just can't find a word that can come out of my mouth. And of course that has to do with the MS, but it's always made me very self-conscious that I can be speaking and then I just stop speaking because words won't come out. It's called aphasia. And I leave, some of the aphasia is funny, like the way I try to say a word and a completely different word comes out and things like that. I do laugh at myself a lot, and some of them are funny, but it's like it's controlled funny because I get to choose how much of that I show. In a live, I don't have that ability. Also in a live, I think, I don't know, it's just that in today's climate, I'm very conscious of people's feelings and what I say, but I don't know, it's just that we all make mistakes, and I just may say something inadvertently that may just be wrong, and I'm afraid of like hurting someone. Is that rationale slightly irrational? Rationale, irrational? You see what I mean? Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm going to try tight lining with this called Axis. It's down here. Sorry, my dad is watching TV. I don't have the fancy software like, what is it called? Something Pro, see? Because it's like $350, and I am certainly not there yet. I don't even make that per month with my channel. So for me to invest in that kind of software is just not financially worth it for now, because most things I want to do, I can do with my iMovie, but I don't have the, I don't have the ability to like show the palette and then circle a shade. My editing equipment just doesn't do that. One day, the only thing I did invest in recently was something called Storybooks that gives me access to video clips, sound effects, and music that I can put into my videos copyright free that I won't get struck, and I have a lot more options, and that's only about $15 a month, so I was okay with investing that. That same color Axis, I want to use this angled brush and maybe put it more in my corner. Another big complaint I remember people had with the palette was that all of the colors muddied together. See, I don't know, because I'm blending this taupey shadow, which is called Dawn, up here, and I don't see muddying at this point. You know, as I said, I can't judge the palette because I don't know whether I got one of the original palettes. I will tell you that I bought the palette, actually it was gifted to me almost 2 years ago. Here's my thing. I have all of these grandiose ideas about these videos that I want to do. And I have them all written down in a book, and so I hold off and I hold off and I hold off on doing the video, and then they just never get done, and then they become irrelevant, basically. So that is my issue. I'm going to go into this greenish goldy thingamajig shimmer. This is with a brush. Granted, you could wet the brush. What the hey, let me do that just to give it a shot. Most of the time I really like using my fingers for my shimmers, unless it's like in a specific area that I need to get more precise. I don't know if it made a difference. Let me just use my finger. Holy smokes, this color is outstanding. Who here has ever wanted a palette just for one color? Anybody? The reason that I'm bringing that up, because the new Urban Decay Ultraviolet palette, one thing I don't like is this color is getting hard pan right away. Anyway, sorry, what I was saying was the new Ultraviolet palette. The main problem that everyone seems to be having with that palette is that there aren't enough mattes, deep mattes, for transitioning and for deepening up the outer, the outer corner. But there is this one like icy, shifty shade in that palette that whenever somebody puts it on, I just like melt into the floor. But I see what everybody's bringing up about you really do need more matte shades, in my opinion. With a full palette like that, do you want to have to pull a different palette for some other mattes? I don't think it should be necessary. This shade alone makes the entire palette for me. Now I am going to take that shifty, cool shade called Cube, and I'm going to put that in my inner corner. Not exactly what I was hoping for, because I really honestly think it's just kind of a transforming shade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this electric color and just bring it more, and then do something else. Can you believe I'm actually doing a get ready with me during the day so that I won't have to wipe this off 5 minutes after I'm done? Isn't that an interesting concept? I just put that cube shade up there for a little bit of something. I don't have a shimmery shade for like the inner corner. The bronze here is too dark. I'm just going to have to use something else. Okay, I could keep messing with this till the cows come home. I don't know, keep your fingers crossed. I may try putting these eyelashes on. Don't get your hopes up. And I will return to finish this video up. Hello everybody, I am back, and I actually got my lashes on. I like these lashes. They literally took me less than 5 minutes a piece to put on. They are the pre-glued and they fit well. They don't quite go into the inner corner, but I just used a little bit of liner and it made it fairly seamless. If anything, I would go out and purchase these again. They are not over the top, and yeah, I absolutely like them. It might be my most flawless application yet, so those are impressive. As for this palette, which is now getting dirty, that is also most people's complaint about this palette, is that the fuzziness gets dirty, but it's fuzzy. How can anybody not like something that is fuzzy? I know I certainly can't. I am going to say that I'm very glad that I tested those shades that I would not normally gravitate towards, because not only did it take me out of my comfort zone, but it brought me into something that I am very satisfied with. Are these the best shadows that I've ever tried? No. Are they the horrible mess that people call them? No. I think it is a nice palette. I'm very satisfied. Could I have gotten maybe a better blend on certain things? Yeah, but I guess if you're going for perfection, you could expect that from any palette. I am in love with this one shade. I just have to hold it up again. It is called Electric. The only thing, as I said, it got a little bit of hard pan because of its different texture and such, but I think I can still make that work. It's not like it doesn't come off at all on my finger. It just took a little bit of building up. I want to thank Debbie so much for wanting to do this collab with me. As I said, I treasure her not only as a person, but I think as a YouTuber, she's wonderful, she's personable, and I think you will love her. And if you want to go check her out below, as I said, she is going to be linked. She has taken me out of my comfort zone and gave me a reason to pick up this palette and try it and fall in love with it and want to use it again, because I will most definitely be using it again. I also want to thank you, my friends, for hanging out with me, because you, as you already know, are the most amazing people in the entire world, and I am so blessed time and time again to have you as part of this YouTube family. And if you're new, hi. If you're here from Debbie's channel, I'm so grateful that you decided to check out mine as well. But I would love for you to become part of this amazing, and I'm not kidding, we do have the most amazing family. And you just click that little button and subscribe. And if you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, because it does help the video get seen, and I appreciate that tremendously, that would be fab. Fab? Who am I? Most importantly, I love you guys so, so much. And of course, whatever part of the world you're in and around, I hope you're having an amazing day, an amazing week coming up. And I will see you really, really soon in my next video. Much love, everybody. Bye.